Well, a very, very happy Wednesday morning to everyone, and welcome to the John Kentera Show on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Glad you could join me today. Hope you've had a good start to your week. We got a lot to cover today. Padres have split the first two games in Arizona against the Diamondbacks. The rubber game tonight at 6:40, and we'll break it all down. That game last night, Tuesday night, wow, 3 hours and 50 minutes. I thought that game would never end, but hey, nonetheless, Padres ended up winning it 10-5. Want to remind you, if you're tuning in maybe for the first time or you've been watching regularly, and we'd certainly appreciate that. Trying to increase our viewership. If you would subscribe, doesn't cost a dime. Very much appreciate if you'd subscribe, like, and please send your comments. I do this show for you fans, not for myself, okay? If I don't talk to you, I talk to my wife, and she kind of gets tired of me talking about Padre baseball morning, noon, and night. But hey, we're here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and occasionally a Thursday night show. We won't have any Thursday show, just by the way. During the month of August, I have a lot of previous engagements, so we'll keep our regular schedule every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. And when we get to high school football, we're going to have a regular weekly segment with John Maffey from the Santa Union Tribune for your high school football fans. We'll look forward to talking with John, and I know he's working very, very hard right now, getting everything ready for the paper, all the previews coming out. So just wanted to drop that in. Again, please subscribe, please like, and please send your comments in. Before I dive into the Padres, and we got a lot to cover today with the Padres. I saw yesterday after I did my big diatribe the other day on the program, they raised ticket prices yet again. So we'll get into that a little bit today as well. But yesterday, along with a lot of others, we said goodbye to our good friend Scott Miller. I attended his services up in Carlsbad at St. Patrick's Church. A lot of great people there yesterday to say goodbye to an incredible guy. And if you'd listened to my radio program for many years and even our podcast, Scott Miller, even though he's battling pancreatic cancer, he came on my program, looked great, had such a positive outlook on life. And unfortunately, it got him here a few weeks back. Great baseball writer, national baseball writer. And yesterday, when I was getting ready to go to the funeral, I've been to a lot of funerals, and a lot of funerals, unfortunately, in the last few years. I'm going to far more funerals I am now than I am going to weddings. I guess that's just all kind of part of life. But yesterday morning, it took me forever to get ready. It was something I really didn't want to go to. Just not, I wanted to pay tribute to Scotty and be there for Kim, his wife, and Gretchen, his daughter, two really great people. Met Scott's mom and dad yesterday, met his brother and sister, met a lot of friends that he had from high school, college. A lot of baseball writers. Jason Stark, the great Hall of Fame baseball writer, was there. Jerry Krasnick was there. Lee Hacksaw Hamilton was there. Ron Fowler, former owner of the Padres, showed up. A.J. Cassavell, Tom Krasovic, Jay Posner. I could go on and on. I sat with John Maffey and John Boggs, the baseball agent, and Bill, who ran the press box at Petco Park, and Terry, who ran the press box at Petco Park for so many years. A lot of people from a walk of different parts of Scotty's life were there yesterday. And I just wanted to mention that because Scott was so loyal to me. So loyal to me. I mean, I can't begin to tell you. When he was with CBS Sportsline, he'd be traveling down to Florida. He would call me from Florida, do an interview on the Atlanta Braves or, whoever he was covering that day or going to be covering the following day. He called me from Arizona. After he'd go from Florida to Arizona, he would always come on. He'd call me from All-Star games, World Series. In fact, in 2023, I asked him if he could be on my radio show. He goes, Coach, I've got a chemo session, but right after the chemo session, I'm going to get in my car and drive to Dodger Stadium. I can do it on the way to Dodger Stadium right after he had chemo. That's the type of guy Scott Miller was. And I don't want to forget Scott. And I think the baseball writers of America, along with the San Diego chapter, baseball writers of San Diego, who Scott was the president of, they made a nice donation for yesterday's services. Adrian Gonzalez donated the food, the former first baseman of the Padres, Dodgers, and New York Mets, Texas Rangers. We know Adrian well, being an Eastlake guy here in San Diego. There were a lot of other people that were a part of it that made donations, but a big Bruce Springsteen fan, Jimmy Buffett fan. He was just a well-rounded guy. And like I mentioned, not only did he know baseball people, he knew other people. I mean, he was the type of guy, if you met him, you loved him, and nobody ever had a bad word to say about Scott Miller. Now, they may disagree with some of his articles from time to time, but they always knew he did his homework, and he did do his homework. But I just wanted to mention that, and it went as well as it could for what it was yesterday. Um, and we lost a great friend. There's no question about that. Okay, let's get into the Padres. Monday night, they just didn't really get it done. I mean, J.P. Sears, who after the game got optioned to AAA, but I'm not putting a whole lot of stock in that. I think they're going to work with him on some stuff. Number one, they got to work on his command of his fastball. He was up in the zone. Newly acquired. He went out there, probably tried to do a little bit too much. He was overthrowing. First outing in a Padre uniform, didn't go well. 5 innings, 10 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs, a walk, a hit batter, 4 strikeouts, gave up that home run to Tyler Locklear. He came to San Diego with a 7-9 record and a 4.95. Okay, he's not Randy Johnson or Sandy Koufax. But what I saw the other night, he can be better. I think he's going to have to change his pitch mix a little bit, and he's obviously going to have to command that fastball much better. Now, he'll go down there. He'll be back. When he'll be back, I don't know. Maybe in 2 weeks he'll be back. But right now, the Padres are stockpiling some arms. Randy Vasquez is down in AAA. We're going to see Randy back. I think they want to slow his innings down. He's already thrown a few more innings this year than he did a year ago. But a tough night for J.P. Sears. Wandy Peralta came in that night. Yuki Matsui came in, gave up a run, but wasn't going to really make the difference. Padres get beat 6-2. They were out hit Monday night 12-6. They were 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Offensively, not a whole lot that night. Ramon Laureano had a 2-hit game. Nobody else had a 2-hit game. Machado had a hit. Merrill had a hit. Cronenworth a hit, RBI, and that was about it. So not a great Monday night. Not a great Monday night at all. Then, last night, I mentioned a 3 hours and 50-minute ball game. Padres exploded for those 5 runs in the 11th. Overall, there were some really good offensive performances last night. Manny Machado, a 3 for 5 night, a walk, couple of runs scored. Xander Bogaerts, 2 for 5, his 8th homer. Did strike out 3 times. Ramon Laureano is just going crazy. 3 for 5 last night, a single, double, triple, 3 RBIs, and Cronenworth starting to show a little bit of life. 2 for 4, couple of walks, a double, 2 RBIs, and a couple of runs scored. So overall, Padres out-hit the Diamondbacks 14-6. They left 14 runners on base, but they were 6 for 19 with runners in scoring position. How about Torey Lovell's ball club last night? They left 7 runners on base. They were 0 for 13. 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position last night. And, I'm not a big tip the cap type guy, but I had to tip my cap last night, and I'll tip it again right now to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He hit that ball off of Mason Miller. Mason Miller threw that fastball in last night, 103.9 miles per hour. I mean, I don't care if you knew it was coming. I mean, he tagged that thing. It went 439 feet, 107.1 miles per hour off his bat. And this morning it came out that was the hardest hit pitch in MLB since they started, the StatCast era in 2008. How about that? 103.9, and he hit that thing deep into the left field seats in the 8th inning to tie the ball game up. Looking at last night, Fernando was 0 for 6. We're going to talk more about Fernando here in a minute. Arraez had that little dunker down the left field line for the go-ahead hit in the top half of the 11th inning. Manny, a big night, 3 for 5. Jackson Merrill, 1 for 4, an RBI. He also had a walk. I mentioned Bogaerts, 2 for 5, his 8th homer. Ramon Laureano, a big night, 3 hits. Those three single, double, triple, three RBIs. Cronenworth, 2 for 4, 2 walks, double, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Iglesias had 1 for 3 night, 2 walks, turned that great double play. Um, at third base, tagging the bag, throwing to first late in the ball game, kept the Padres in it, and they went to the next inning. Then they pinch hit for Elias Diaz and Freddie Fermin. He ended up getting 4 at-bats last night, and he didn't come in until like the 6th inning. He ended up going 1 for 3 with a walk and an RBI. Pitching-wise, though, we got to talk about Darvish. And on our chat, I would like to hear from you where you're at with you, Darvish. Because here where I'm at right now. I'm seeing some positive signs. Now, his numbers were very so-so, and you probably lean not so good. But watching him very closely last night, he's doing some good things, but they're being overshadowed because he's giving up runs. And his numbers weren't great. 4 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 2 wild pitches, could have had a third, and gave up a home run. But when you watch him, he's throwing some good pitches. He just has no consistency right now. And you can say, well, it's because he it has a lot of rust because he didn't, really do anything during spring training. He was just kind of working his way to get back. I can tell you this. Lowering his arm slot, he looks a lot better. He's getting more run on his pitch. And I think as he gets a little bit more used to it, I think we're going to see him become a little bit more consistent. Now, it would be easy for me to say, man, Darvish stinks. You got to get him out of the rotation. I'm not going to go that direction. I'm not going to go that direct. Number one, the Padres are winning baseball games right now. And they were able to overcome what I would consider a bad start for Darvish last night. But I'm seeing things. And again, he's pretty much rehabbing at the major league level. And they're asking him to go more than 1 or 2 innings like the Dodgers were asking Ohtani. They're asking him to go out there and, give me 4 or 5 or 6. And we saw in the one start he had 7. He wasn't great last night, but he wasn't awful either. And what I'm seeing good movement. He's just not landing pitches when he needs to land them right now. But I think he will. I think he will. He looks pretty good out there. I know last night he appeared to be very, very frustrated. But I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be okay. If he can stay healthy, I think he's going to be okay. And you look at his numbers now. They're not great. He's got a 6.51 ERA and 6 starts. That's not good. But he's making progress. And I think with the Padre deep bullpen, they don't have to ask a whole lot. It's like if they get to the playoffs, and right now they're playing great baseball, they're going to be a playoff team unless they just spit the bit. And they got some tough games coming up. After Arizona tonight, they got an off day. Then they got Boston. They got the Giants, the Dodgers, and they got the Giants again, and then the Dodgers again. Dodgers got off the schneid last night, finally started swinging the bat. They're 1-1 in their series against the Cardinals. They play a day game today. And Ohtani's pitching today. I wonder if Ohtani will pitch when he's in San Diego. That'll be interesting. We'll figure that out here in another week or so. But as far as Darvish, I was disappointed last night, but watching with a real solid eye, I saw some progress. I saw some progress last night. And I think he's still trying to learn how to be a different pitcher. But he is making progress, even though the numbers did not look good. And it'd be easy for anybody to say, when you look at the bio, oh my God, another bad start by Darvish. It wasn't great. It was so-so. But I'm seeing, from a guy that worked a lot with pitchers over the years, I'm seeing signs of him being able to be a little bit more consistent. And the more innings he logs, as long as he's healthy, I think he's going to be okay, and I think he can help this ball club. I really do. Okay, I want to talk about Fernando. And I'd like your comments on this. I think everybody kind of knows that, Fernando's like my favorite Padre. I mean, that's been here for a while. I love Arraez. We're going to talk about Luis a little bit later. There are a lot of guys on this team I like. I love the catcher they picked up, Freddie Fermin. Laureano, I've always liked. Yeah, he's having a career year with the bat right now, and I hope he keeps it rolling. I liked him when he was Oakland. He wasn't hitting all that well. The Padres would bring him in. Didn't happen. He's bounced around, but now he's having a great year. But Fernando's my guy. But I want to know where you're at with Fernando. Last night, here's his line last night. 0 for 6, a walk, RBI, a run scored, 2 strikeouts. And I'm looking at his body language when he comes to the plate. And he's coming to the plate. I don't know what he's thinking right now. He just looks lost at the plate. He really looks lost at the plate. He hit a couple of balls hard. He hit a ball to center last night, and he hit a ball to shortstop late in the ball game. But he's not hitting for much of an average right now. In fact, in the month of August, he's got 21 at bats. He's got a double. He's hitting 095. And I went back this morning. I got up at about 6:30 because I couldn't write up all my notes. It was too late. And I wanted to watch the post-game show. And last thing I wanted to do after being at Scotty's funeral yesterday was stay up real late last night. So I got up at 6:30, wrote up a bunch of stuff. And Fernando was on my mind today. And I was looking at some numbers. Against left-handed pitching this year, he has 114 at bats. He's 25 for 114. He's hitting 219 against left-handed pitching. That doesn't make sense to me. Does it make sense to you? You would think he would feast off of left-handed pitching. That breaking balls breaking into you. But he's hitting 219. Against right-handed pitching, 276. 86 for 312. And then I went back and I go, I'm going to look at his months, what he's done by the month. And got off to a great start. Of course, he had 5 games in March. He went 9 for 20, a double, a homer, 3 RBIs, hit 450. April, he hit 323 and 93 at bats, 2 doubles, a triple, 7 homers, 15 RBIs. And then in May, he hit 184 and 103 at bats, 184 for the month. But he had 4 doubles, 5 homers, 10 RBIs. And he's getting on base a little bit. June, 235 and 98 at bats. And that was coming off a 184 month. So 235, 98 at bats, 4 doubles, 2 homers, 9 RBIs, but he walked 18 times. July hit 308, pretty good. 91 at bats, 7 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, 7 RBIs, 20 walks, 24 strikeouts. And like I mentioned, August 095 and 21 at bats with 1 double. Since June 1st. So we're June, July, now in August. He's hit 4 home runs after hitting 13 the first 2 months. What's going on with his power? I mean, what is going on there? And, I'm looking at his total numbers for the year. He's hitting 261. That's middle of the road. 19 doubles, 2 triples, 17 homers, 45 RBIs. And I know he led off a majority of the year, but 45 RBIs is not very much for a team that scores a lot of runs. And you could say, well, the 7, 8, 9 guys weren't getting on, and that's true. But 45 RBI is not all that much. Does have a 364 on base percentage. Can't argue there. 434 slug, 798 OPS. You'd like it to be, about 850. But, anything 800 or better, I'll take. He's at 798 right now. He's got 65 walks, 5 hit by pitches, 90 strikeouts, 22 of 27 in stolen bases this year. He's a 276 career hitter. In OPS plus that I like, average major league players at 100. He's at 122. But when you look at his numbers, and obviously it hasn't been a balanced out season. He did really well early and has been struggling lately for the most part, even though he hit 308 in July. It didn't seem like he hit 308. Well, what are you seeing from Fernando? And I mean, we're not going to throw the guy under the bus, obviously. But I'll be honest with you. I expect more. I mean, he's a 276 career hitter and he's hitting 261. And that just his body language just not look right. Still playing a good solid right field, made some incredible catches. And, very well could win another Gold Glove this year. I know he made a couple errors early in the year, and everybody's going to make errors, okay? I mean, physical errors. You don't want to make those mental errors and throw to the wrong base or miss cutoff men, stuff like that. But where are you at with Fernando? Are you expecting more like I am? Am I asking too much of Fernando? That's what I want to hear from you. Am I expecting too much from Fernando? That's what I would like to hear from you folks today in the chat. Let's talk about the Padres raising ticket prices. And I'll let you decide on this. This is a good topic. This is a very good topic. And I went back this morning. I read the article in the paper. And I went back and I looked at some things. Okay, the Padres for next year, all their loyal season ticket holders are going to get another 7% raise on season tickets. Like they're not paying enough. I know the Padres from 2017 to 2021 did not raise ticket prices. Well, they couldn't because their team sucked. Let's face it, we sucked back then. Okay? It's that simple. They were trying to get fans rather than just trying to keep them. They were trying to just get fans because they were so bad for so long. You got to remember, this team has not won a division title since 2006. We can get into the wild. We haven't won anything. We're still beating our chest after beating the Dodgers in that playoff series and eventually getting to the NLCS. That's great. That's our high water mark for the Padres right now since 2006. All right. I'm going to take you through the last 5 years, and you tell me where you stand. If you're a season ticket holder, I want your opinion on this. Okay, they didn't raise ticket prices from 2017 to 2021. Then in 2022, they get a 20% increase. In 2023, another 18% increase. 2024, 9%. This year, 3%. Next year, that will be a 7%. So over the last 5 baseball seasons, you will have be paying an additional 53% over the last 5 seasons. Wow, that's a lot of money, especially when you got to buy 2 to 4 tickets. If you're buying season tickets, I don't think too many people just buy one season ticket and they never go to a game with somebody that they like or love or married to or whatever. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But hey, you know what? They're winning. People want to come. People want to come. It's a place to be. It's like a Laker game. You want to go to a Laker game to be seen, man. You're cool. You're drinking a beer. You're walking around. You're at Gallagher Square. You're a cool dude. Okay, go down there for beer fest, wine fest, and all that. That's great. But man, not everybody can afford that. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. Throw in parking, concessions, souvenirs, all that stuff. 53% over the last 5 years. Wow. But I'll tell you why they're doing it. They have no TV contract. No TV contract at all. They lost $60 million. So now you fans are having to pay for that $60 million loss. Now, they lost a TV contract a couple of years ago. They had already increased it 20% in 2022. And then I believe in 2023, they lost a TV contract. So they lost $60 million right there. So the fans now are going to pay through the nose because of the loss of the TV contract. Now, I don't see a TV contract coming back anytime soon. Major League Baseball creates Padre Baseball. I don't know what channel you get it. I get it on channel 83. And it's pretty bare bones. It's pretty bare bones. They do a quick, 25-minute pregame show, home post-game show. The young lady that does it with Mike Pomerantz usually. They're on and off. They get to Mike Schilt. They do a couple highlights. They're off the air. On the road, Scan or Pomerantz will do it with Mark Grant. Pretty bare bones. I watch a lot of the other teams. I watch the Giants. I watch the Dodgers. I watch the A's. I watch the Yankees. I watch the Cardinals. Man, they got like a real post-game show. It's a real post-game show. And, Channel 83, I'm glad we get the games. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I would be bitching, moaning, and complaining if we couldn't get Padre Baseball. And they're running 10 games this year on CBS Channel 8, which are great on Saturday night. It's really cool. But they need to get on a real station. They need to get on a real station, whether it be, Channel 8 or Channel 7 or, Channel 10. Well, Channel 10, I don't know if anybody watches Channel 10 that much these days. I don't really know. Or KUSI. KUSI would be perfect to be on that station. But, man, do a real post-game show. Do a real pre-game show. Give the fans a little bit more. Give them some insight. I watch Dodger post-game. Every night they have Dodger players that are being interviewed by Kirsten Watson, the young lady that does their sideline reports. I watch the Giant games. They go back to the field and they interview this guy and that guy. And it's just not like one post-game guest, go to Mike Schilt and get off the air. Okay, I think the TV coverage, the broadcasters are fine. I don't have a problem with the broadcasters. I got a problem with the lack of time on the pregame and postgame. I really don't care a whole lot about the pregame. Just let me know who's pitching. Let me know if anybody's gotten hurt or, maybe a quick story. But I want to hear some post-game reaction from the players. But, it's not like the old Channel 4 and Santa. Channel 4 was great. Gene Mitchell would do those documentary on players. I mean, you go to Channel 83 now, and you basically get music and the Padre logo and wait for, Don Orsillo to come on the show. I don't know where I guess he's been on TBS. Jesse's been doing the games the last couple of days on TV. Maybe Don will be back tonight. But the TV situation could be better. And it's not the folks producing, directing. That's what Major League Baseball wants. I think us fans here in Santa deserve a little bit better than a cookie cutter broadcast. That's what I think. I think we deserve a little bit better from a cookie cutter broadcast. They got some talented guys in the booth. They got some talented guys that run the show, but they need more airtime. They need more airtime. So hopefully going forward into next year, they can provide a little bit more for us Padre fans on the front end and the back end. And again, I kind of like to hear the players after the game. Make the players stand up. I mean, if the Dodger players can do it all the time and the Cardinal player, Padre players, stick a mic in their mug and let's hear their thoughts. And let's get to know the players a little bit better. That's what Channel 4 used to do. I mean, it got to the point when Channel 4 started, I think it was in 96 or 97 is when they went on the air with the Padres. I mean, if you missed a Padre game back then, it was like in 97 was an awful year. We know 96 they had a good year. Bad year 97, went to the World Series 98. But if you missed a Padre game on Channel 4 back in the day, I mean, it was like, what's wrong with you? Because everybody loved Steve Finley and Caminetti and Tony, and, you could go on and on and on. Trevor, the whole game, Wally Joyner, Kilvio Veras, Chris Gomez, Greg Vaughn. You could go on and on. Those guys were in your house every night, and you were hearing from those guys and great documentaries by Gene Mitchell. Now we've got, go to Channel 83 right now. It'll tell you when the game's on tonight. They'll be playing music with the Padre logo. I mean, we got to get a little more. I mean, I think we need a little more. What do you think on that? So anyways, they've raised ticket prices again. If you're a season ticket holder, get your checkbook out. Okay? All right, let's get to some questions this morning in Coach's Crew. See what we got today. We got a lot of things to cover. I got an opinion on a lot of things today. All right, Bogey and Cronenworth deserve more love. Fine production from the shortstop and second base skill positions. Cronenworth's playing great defense. He hasn't had a great year offensively, hitting 240. Doesn't even have 10 home runs yet. They're expecting more out of him. He's got to be better. He had a good ball game. He's in a pretty good stretch right now. Cronenworth, I think he's always going to be that. If you look at his career numbers, take a look at his career numbers. And, he's had a couple of really good years with RBIs, but look at his average the first year. That was the COVID year. And a lot of his career numbers are still good because of that COVID year. That's what I would say. But defensively, he can play with anybody. He can play with anybody. And tell you what, we got a great defense. I mean, Arraez has gotten progressively better at first base. He's worked his tail off. Cronenworth's great. Iglesias can play any of the three infield spots. Bogarts has had a good year. I think he made his sixth error of the year last night, made that high throw. And then we know Manny. Manny hadn't had a great year defensively, but we know Manny, when the trips are down, Manny's going to make the big play. We know that. He's going to make the sensational play, but he's not had a good year defensively. Mostly throwing problems, surprisingly. Sometimes maybe tries to rely on that wrist action a little bit more rather than driving off that back leg and showing off that big-time arm. Manny's got a great arm, but you don't see it very often. But Cronenworth doing a good job right now. Pat him on the back, but he got to be better going forward, especially in big, critical situations. Thank you very much for the question. I like that. Matthew, thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate that. Thoughts on the Yankees right now? Wow. That was a conversation, believe it or not, yesterday when we were eating after Scotty's funeral. We were sitting with a group of people, national people, and the big word right now is that Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman both may get canned at the end of the year. Cashman's had a hell of a run there. I I don't know. I don't believe, I'm not going to buy in that Aaron Boone has lost that clubhouse. I'm not buying that for 1 minute. I think injuries, I mean, not having Stanton in there, that hurt for a few days. Um, they've had a lot of injuries. I still think the Yankees have the ability to get it back together. But the word is, man, if they don't do something dynamic, and especially if they were to miss the playoffs, there are rumors out there that Boone and Cashman both could walk the plank, and they could have a big turnover in the Yankee organization for the first time in many, many years. That's what I heard yesterday from a lot of good baseball people. All right, what's our next one? Take a look. Big Sam, hi, Coach. Do you think Tatis should get moved back to the two-hole? I'm starting to think the leadoff role is getting to his head, and he's trying to do too much. Still looks completely lost up there. Sam, what's interesting, if you look at Fernando's career, um, his career numbers are better in the one hole than any other spot in the batting order. I saw Dave Roberts said yesterday regarding Mookie Betts, who's in the worst slump of his career. He was 0 for 21, and he ended up getting 3 hits last night. He goes, I'm not moving him any lower than the 2-hole for Mookie Betts. And we know Betts is led off, and then last year they decided to go to Ohtani. And, in the last couple of weeks, Betts had led off a few games, but now they got back to Ohtani hitting leadoff, and Betts is hitting number 2. I don't know. It just looks like Fernando's lost. I don't know what's going on with him. I would think Victor Rodriguez is working with him. And again, sometimes you wonder, are these guys hard-headed? They're not going to make adjustments? I don't know. But I think you leave him where you're at. Your team's winning games. It's like last night. He drove in a run. He scored a run. Didn't have a good night, 0 for 6. But you just leave him at the number 1 spot. That's what I would do for right now. Sam, always good to hear from you, buddy. Thank you very much. David, I would rather have a few innings of you than a complete bullpen game. Yeah, I agree. And I think, David, where we're at right now, I think the Padres, if they were scuffling to stay in the wild card, then I think maybe you'd have to make a decision. But he wasn't awful last night. He wasn't good. He jerked a couple of those wild pitches in that last inning, and Diaz saved him from a third. But no, I keep running him out there. I trust him better than I trust some of the guys in the bullpen. Most of the overall, his numbers are pretty good, but sometimes he can get a little off, and he was a little off last night. Didn't end up hurting him, but Darvish is under contract. They owe him $63 million through 2028. Okay, you got to get something out of this guy, and he's healthy. So run him out there. Hey, 3 or 4 innings. Hey, it's better, like you said, than a bullpen game. I totally 100% agree with you, because then that puts your bullpen in disarray for a couple of days. Now, like tonight, I wouldn't think Suarez is going to pitch tonight, and I wouldn't think Mason Miller is going to pitch. Miller may pitch tonight, but I think Suarez is definitely going to be down. If I'm Mason Miller, I want to come back and pitch tonight because I gave up that 2-run homer. But again, you got to tip your cap to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. on that. I mean, he hit a ball 103.9 miles per hour. Man, that thing was deep. That was unbelievable, actually. I couldn't believe it. David, thank you very much, buddy. Good to hear from you. Good photographer team here in San Diego. All right. The Laureano edition, right-hand bat, left field with Pop was the most important move at trade deadline, along with not trading Cease and Suarez, but O'Hearn, add or of leaves Sheets without much of a role. You know what? I was going to get into this today, but then I go, I'm going to let this play out a little bit. But right now, it looks like to me, kind of O'Hearn and Sheets are being put in the cooler. And I think it behooves Mike Schilt to get these guys in the lineup. Now, tonight, I really haven't looked at the pitching matchup a whole lot, but they do have a right-hander going Anthony DeSclafani. I'd find a way to get those 2 guys in the lineup tonight. It's hard to take Laureano out because he's hammering the baseball right now. Could you ever sit Fernando down, give Fernando a day Boston series? But I would imagine Fernando wants to get right back in there after going 0 for 6. You don't want to take Arraez out. He's playing great. Man, who you take out? But you got to keep O'Hearn. I mean, O'Hearn is a guy that was a starting designated hitter for the American League. You can't let him sit over there too long. And he obviously, what's he, 1 for 8 right now, I think, right now as a Padre? I think he's 1 for 8. You got to give this guy an opportunity to get it rolling. And Sheets has had a great year. So Mike Schultz got to do a juggling act right now. Very much a juggling act. So, we'll see where it goes, but I agree with you. But Laureano, man, he's been great. You know that he's been one of the best right-hand hitters all year in baseball. He's a right-hand hitter against right-handed pitching. He was number 2 in baseball among right-hand hitters hitting against right-handed pitching. And he hasn't let up, man. He's swinging the bat. He's actually raised his average. He came to San Diego from Baltimore hitting 290. He's up to 295 right now. I mean, he's having a career year. Thank you very much for the chat. I appreciate that. VRMN. Fernando looks defeated at the plate. He's not taking good at bats, solid on the bases, and solid defense, but those up and in pitchers are in his head. You might be right. Little Alfred E. Newman there, huh? Didn't know who that was, huh? I know who it was. Alfred E. Newman. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Fernando. People tell me that there's a lot of things tugging at him off the field, but doesn't seem to be hurting him on defense or on the bases. But at the plate, he looks lost. I mean, I don't know if he's guessing at the plate or what, but I don't know. It just doesn't really look like he's got much of a game plan right now at the plate. And I agree with you. He goes up there almost with a defeatist attitude. He really does. And I don't know what's going on with him, but I agree with you 100%. 100%. Thank you very much, VRMN. I appreciate that. I appreciate Alfred E. Newman. All right, let's keep them rolling. Shep, coach. This is the first season that Tatis hasn't had to go away for extended time with injury. Perhaps the grind of a long season with no mental break is taking its toll. Shep, anything's possible. And he missed time, but, what was it? The year he hit the 42 home runs, he played quite a bit. But I don't know. Give him a day off. You got guys that can play right field. Put Laureano out in right. He's a great right fielder. Put him out in right field. That guy can play any of the 3 outfield spots. Put him out there. Let Sheets play left. And let O'Hearn DH tonight. I'm going to make out the lineup card right now. I'm putting Laureano in right. I'm putting Sheets in left. And then I'm putting O'Hearn as a designated hitter. In late innings, I bring Fernando in right. Let him get an at-bat maybe. And then you're leading into a day off, and you put Laureano over there in left. You take Sheets out when you have a lead in the 7th inning. You're going forward. See, I just manage the ball club. Fernando, I don't know. Fernando might go in and stomp his feet and pound on Mike Schultz's desk if he's out of the lineup. But you got to get these other guys an opportunity to play. And I don't think it's a bad thing giving Fernando a day off. Let him have a mental day off where he doesn't do squat. He can work off the tee, play soft touch, do whatever the hell he wants. Some guys, and I mentioned Adrian Gonzalez donating the food for Scotty's services yesterday. Adrian would be in a funk. He didn't get into a funk too often when he was with the Padres. I mean, he had a hell of a career with the Padres. But when they would give him a day off, when he wasn't in a funk and they'd give him a day off, he would come back and usually go on a tear. Just a mental strain. Was relieved he could just work on and get back to the fundamentals, do whatever he wanted. If he wanted to take BP or hit off the tee or hit in the cage or do nothing. There's nothing wrong with getting a day off. Sometimes it's good. It really benefits the ball player to have a day off and they come back fresher physically, but more important, mentally. So if he gets a day off today, I think it'd be great. Why not take advantage of that? They're doing that with the infielders. Why don't they do it with the outfielders a little bit? They've got the ability to do that now. I mean, look at Iglesias. He played third last night. He's played second. He's played short. Arraez will DH, and they'll let Somebody else play first base. Cronenworth moves over there. Iglesias at second. And they're mixing and matching in the infield. They can do that in the outfield. Fernando probably needs a day off. Give him a day off. There's nothing wrong with that. You can always bring him in off the bench if you need him late, and definitely for defense. But no, I agree. You folks out there, you guys got a lot of good content. Got a lot of good content. Okay, what else we got? Let's keep them rolling. What is it? Why can't they get a TV deal? Being that they sell out most home games, seems like it would be possible. I don't know. I mean, TV, not a big mark. I don't know. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but MLB controls them. Next time I have Brad Sussman on, and we had Brad on Monday, I will ask him because Arizona was pretty much in the same shape as the Padres, and they may still be in the same shape. And Brad's really dialed into the TV because he does a lot of TV in Arizona. We'll get him on, and he can kind of talk about the TV situation to the best of his ability. But yeah, I don't see Fox or anybody Root Sports. I don't know if they're even doing. I don't know. I got to look at some of these other broadcasts. From the Giants and Colorado. By the way, Drew Goodman does a nice job. Their play-by-play guy, Drew Goodman, does a nice job on a bad ball club. Jeff Houston, Ryan Spilborg. Those guys do a pretty doggone good job in their broadcasts, even though they don't have a lot to cheer about there. But I'll do some due diligence. Next time we have Brad on, we'll talk to him about that because I know he's kind of dialed in on that a little bit. And I know he's looked into the Arizona Diamondback situation quite a bit. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, keep them coming. What else we got? We got anything else out there? Oh, we got anything else? Luis Arraez, named a Padres Heart and Hustle Award winner. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about Luis because I talked to a gentleman that covers the Padres on a regular basis. And he's covered him for a long time. And he told me Luis Arraez is his favorite Padre of all time, aside from Tony Gwynn. And Luis Arraez, this could be his last year in San Diego, folks. Padres are going to have to make a decision on him, we know. But he was named the Padres Heart and Hustle Award winner. It was announced by the Major League Baseball Players Alumni Association. And this is how it works. It's also the only award voted on by former players. And each team winner is chosen by a committee of alumni. And then the season's overall winner will be announced in mid-November on the MLB network. The overall winner will be chosen from the pool of the team winners by a combination of alumni and fans. So we'll be able to vote on this. Angels, and I mentioned the two Southern California teams just because we're in Southern California. The Angels, Heart and Hustle Award winner Zach Neto, and for the Dodgers, their young center fielder Andy Pages. Luis Arraez is a great guy. He shows up to the ballpark every day with a smile on his face, excited about being there, wants to get better, and is a great teammate. And I think anybody that has come into contact with him, people when he walks in the ballpark, the service people there, whoever he runs into, he's always got a smile and a friendly handshake. And I think this is great that he was nominated for this award. Hopefully he wins this award. But I'm hoping Luis Arraez is re-signed to the Padres. It's really difficult. And I know they'll put metrics to it. And they'll look at a lot of different things. But this guy's a winning baseball player. He's a winning baseball player. And the thing that I like about him, he does it with a smile on his face. He's got some swagger. He's got some charisma and some flair and some real showmanship. I really enjoy watching him play. And being a guy that played a lot of first base, I've really enjoyed watching him grow and get better as a first baseman. And I think he's doing a really good job with that. Okay. I told you about a month ago that I was going out to this baseball card show, and it's much more than just a trading card show. And it was at the Handlery. I took my grandson, my son-in-law. We had a marvelous time. We spent money, and it was well spent, very well spent. And not only that, the camaraderie I had with my 7-year-old grandson, who absolutely loves baseball. He thinks he's the second coming of Manny Machado. Okay, Machado's by far his favorite player. And my son-in-law, he had a great time. He's a real sports fan. So we went down there and we kicked around, I don't know, 2.5 hours or so, and met a lot of people from all over. I mean, these things are huge. Well, my man who produces this program, him and his father and one of his father's friends, and along with a lot of other people, put on these incredible card and collector shows in San Diego, and they do it on a regular basis. And this weekend, it's another 2-day show at down at Liberty Station. And I bring on my esteemed producer, all around great guy's going to be covering Aztec football this year, Jonathan Oliveri. And Jonathan, I appreciate everything you do. And I mean, we wouldn't have this broadcast if it wasn't for you and all the things you do behind the scenes. And I thank you for that. And before we get into the card show, I know you've been out to the Aztecs, and they're all charged up, ready to go, and try to improve on. Well, they have to improve on a 3-9 season.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. The card shows are great, and yeah, Aztec football, things are starting to heat up. Still doing some research on the roster because now with college football, everyone transferring in and out. We got some new quarterbacks here, but yeah, there's a lot of defensive returners, which is an exciting thing for them, as their defense played very well in the beginning of the season last year, kind of fizzled out by the end, but they had some big time returners and Tana Latuli and Trey White. So yeah, I'm going to be out at some of those practices and bringing you guys some information on that. It should be an exciting season.
Well, hopefully on August 28th, you and I are going to be sitting in the press box watching that Thursday night game against Stony Brook. And, I saw last night on some of the Aztec chat boards, and I'm kind of wondering too, and I know you are as well, they haven't put a time on that kickoff yet.
I know. And, last season, the first game they had a time on, but there were some later ones that we didn't know times on until it was, just a few weeks away. So yeah, I'm waiting just like you to see when that game's going to be played, when it'll kick off.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what TV channel it's going to be on. Not, and I'm sure that's what's dictating it now. But for you and I, it's not going to matter whether it's a 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 7:30 or 8 o'clock. You and I are going to be at the ball game.
Yeah, we'll be there no matter what time it is. So yeah, it'll be exciting. Just a few weeks away from that.
All right, Jonathan, I know you've had a couple of card shows since I've been there. You've had a couple of one-day shows recently, but you got another big one, and I mean big one, down at Liberty Station this weekend. Yeah. Tell us all about it, how the fans can get out there, what website to go to, and what time each day they're going to open and close.
Yeah, so this is a new location. We've only done one show at this location so far, and it was a 1 day, and it was a big hit. Everybody liked it. It's down in Liberty Station. It's a little bit past, if you know where like the main shopping area in Liberty Station is, it's just a little bit past that, at the Liberty Station Conference Center. So it's a great venue. There's going to be over 120 vendor tables at this one. 2 days this weekend, August 9th and 10th, and it's 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. both days. So yeah, a ton of vendors. Even if you don't collect cards, it's just a fun thing to be out at and just look around and kind of get into it yourself. See what you're into. There's Pokemon, there's Yu-Gi-Oh, there's sports, there's everything you can imagine collectible there. So it'll be a great time.
I was amazed, and I've got the interest in the cards, but the memorabilia was like off the wall.
Yeah, the memorabilia. And me personally, that's what I like. That's what I collect, is the memorabilia. I've done cards. That's kind of like how I got into it with my brother when we were kids, collecting cards. And then as I got older, I started collecting the memorabilia. And that's kind of like what I do on my website too. But yeah, the memorabilia is really cool. I mean, you everything from like signed baseballs and bats to mini helmets, full-size helmets, even like ticket stubs, game programs. I mean, it's never ending, and there's a little bit of everything there, but the memorabilia part is definitely a big factor, and it's really fun. A card is cool to look at and have, but like me personally, I like the memorabilia. I like to have like a helmet or a football like sitting on the shelf or displayed, because you can see it from anywhere in the room. Versus
I know you got a few days and you're getting the whole card show, everything put together, and that's an unbelievable amount of work. There's no question about that. But you actually have a booth yourself. Talk a little bit about what you have, because when I saw it, I don't know if it'll be similar this time or not, but you got some incredible Charger stuff.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'll be there. I'll have 2 tables at my booth, so I'll have quite a bit of stuff there, and I have everything from cards to memorabilia, like we were mentioning, and right now a lot of the card market is everybody likes to invest in the players like the Merrills, the Fernandos and Machados, kind of the investments to see what they can do. Where I more focus on the older kind of vintage stuff. So like the players who are proven have already won, and had success. So I enjoy that, and I do still collect the newer items because it is like it is exciting to have something like have that Merrill signed rookie and watching the game each day to see how good he does and see how you can do in predicting what players will do well. But yeah, I have memorabilia I'll have Padres and Chargers items from pretty much their inception to current. So I have Padre items from 1969, their first year in the MLB. I have Charger items from the 60s when they're in the AFL, cards, signed football, signed mini helmets, photos, a little bit of everything. So that's what I do on my website, sdsportsmem.com. It's an online museum and my way to connect with fans and hear their stories and what they collect, and then also kind of show some of their rare items that I have, because I have some pretty unique, one-of-a-kind items, and I don't just want them sitting here in my game room or just tucked away in the closet. I like to kind of share them with people and share the story behind each item. So yeah, I'll be there. I'll be in my SD Sports Mem attire. So if anybody comes by and sees me, come say hi.
Uh, Anything special that you need to tell the fans about coming up? Good times, or maybe a certain person that's going to show up this week and may have something really unique? I mean, you mentioned
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about Pokemon, but I did go over there, and that was after I could, kind of wade through the traffic.
Yeah.
Pokemon cards are like really hot.
Yeah, Pokemon's it's kind of taken over. I mean, and I played Yu-Gi-Oh! I should have been when I was younger. I should have been playing Pokemon because I probably would have had some real good cards. But yeah, Pokemon's really blown up. It's kind of almost taking over. It's pretty. I'd say it's about like 60-40 with Pokemon, but it's a cool card game. I don't know much about it myself either, besides just sort of the basics and everything. But yeah, there's a lot of Pokemon on top of the sports, and it's interesting because a lot of people who collect Pokemon do sports as well, and sports do Pokemon as well. But I would say the main thing, kind of tips for this weekend is I would go on their website now, sdcollectibles.com. You can buy a weekend pass that's good for both days, Saturday and Sunday, for only $10, so $5 a day.
Wow, that's cheap.
Yeah, definitely. And when you buy that, it's essentially 50% off because at the door it's $10 a day. And the good thing about buying it online is there's going to be two lines, and these lines get long to get into the shows. So there's going to be two lines. There's going to be a line for the people who pre-ordered online, and then a line for the people who didn't. So if you pre-order online, it saves you time and money. So you're going to get in sooner, which means you're going to get to those deals sooner, and you're going to be able to get those things while everybody else is still out there waiting in line, messing around. But yeah, I would go on there, sdcollectibles.com, and buy those tickets. And the other cool thing that they're doing at this show is sort of a thank you to the supporters who have been coming to these shows for years. These have been going on for 4 years now. Is they're giving away $1,500 in event bucks. So they're going to be vouchers. So every so often, we're still working out the details and the times that they're going to be doing it. But you're going to get a raffle ticket when you come in, and every few hours they're going to do a raffle. And whoever's picked is going to win $200 or $100 voucher event bucks, and it's good for there at the event. So you're going to get a voucher you're going to be able to take up to the vendors, and you're going to be getting free product as a thank you. So $1,500 is going to be given away across the 2 days. So you'll want to get there, and they're going to be doing them throughout the show each day. So as long as you have that ticket, you could win either the first drawing or at the last drawing. So you're going to want to stick around and see when you can win, and you could win some good money and get some awesome products.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's more than fair. I mean, what a great deal. That's really cool. But I mean, even to go online and pay $10, you get to go both days. Where if you went 2 days and didn't sign up, and it cost you an additional $10. So that's really good. Again, give out the website, and again, give out the times. I know we got it rolling at the bottom of the screen, but go ahead and give them out again.
Yeah, so the website is sdcollectibles.com. And then this show is the 9th and 10th this weekend, and it's 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then the other thing is it's free parking. There's plenty of parking there. You'll want to get early. You want to get there early, though, so you get a good parking spot. But there's plenty of parking, free parking. And yeah, sdcollectibles.com. If you go on there, and I would buy your tickets now, it saves you 50% off. And then not only the 50% off, but it saves you time in line, and you can go in and get those deals before everybody else who's going to be in line outside.
Well, that's great. Well, we'll have you on again Friday just to remind everybody and
Yep.
any last minute details. But good job as always, Jonathan.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Jonathan Oliveri, he mentions free parking. Did you see the city? After over 100 years, they're going to start charging to go to zoo parking and Balboa Park on October 1st. And then I read in the paper the other day, I mean, the parking is getting ridiculous. They want to start charging during Padre games or concerts or whatever they're having at Petco Park. About a half a mile from Petco Park, in the meters, they want to start charging $10 an hour. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, oh man. I mean, how about if you bought a season pass to the zoo, and now you got to start paying to park? I mean, that may keep some families from buying a season pass for their kids. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm glad I live in outside of city limits. I live in North County. Wow, unbelievable, unbelievable. The parking. You start charging in Solana Beach, I may have to find another home. So Solana Beach isn't that dumb, I don't think. But Solana Beach is run pretty well, I got to say. Okay, let's get to tonight's pitching matchups. And tonight, the rubber game of the three-game series. And I have, this could be a slugfest or it could be a tight ball game. It still could be a tight ball game and a slugfest, but the Padres going to go with a veteran left-hander, 30-year-old Nestor Cortez, 1-1 and a 9 ERA, coming off a flexor tendon. Had one good start with Milwaukee and one disastrous start where he gave up 8 earned runs and 5 homers against his old team, the Yankees. His first start of the year, second start, he pitched pretty well. He's pitched like 8 innings all year. Okay. Well, I don't know what to expect. And the Arizona Diamondbacks, they're going with Anthony DeSclafani, 1-2 and a 4.91. He was with the Yankees in the minor leagues, opted out of his deal, and came to Arizona as 1-2 with a 4.91. So there you have it. And again, I mentioned early, JP Sears, he'll be back. He's down in El Paso. He got optioned out. They brought up Sean Reynolds, who was recalled from AAA. And I would imagine Reynolds will probably get sent down over the weekend because they're expecting Michael King to be activated either Saturday or Sunday to pitch against the Boston Red Sox. That'd be good news. Numbers weren't good in that AAA start, but again, you can take that with a grain of salt. But Michael King, hopefully, is ready to go on Saturday or Sunday. Again, the Padres are off tomorrow. They're back at it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then they head up to San Francisco. Then they've got a series against the Dodgers. Then they come home and they got a series against the Giants and Dodgers. Man, it's going to be a gauntlet. I mean, starting with Boston and then the Giants, Dodgers. Wow. But hey, I'll tell you what, Padres are playing some great baseball. Let's take a look right now at the standings because I'm telling you right now, Padres are moving up in the standings basically because the Mets aren't playing very well. Philadelphia now opened up a 2.5 game lead over the Metropolitans. Marlins, Monday they were 55 and 55. They're now 55 and 57. You take a look at the National League Central. Look at the Milwaukee Brewers. Pat Murphy, the former interim skipper of the Padres, doing a good job with the Brew Crew. They're a 4-game lead over the Chicago Cubs. Cubs giving a little bit of ground right now, but that race isn't over. Then you take a look at the National League West. Dodgers, 66 and 48. Padres, right on their tail right now at 63 and 51, 3 games back. Giants right at 500. They got the Pirates again today. They're 9 games back. Diamondbacks at 54 and 60, and then the big Colorado Rockies at 30 and 83. Okay, let's take a look at the National League wild card. And this is what I'm excited about. We've been talking all year long about the Padres being the third wild card. Well, right now, as we wake up this morning and get ready for the ball game tonight, Padres tied for the second wild card in the National League. And take a look at, man, they're gaining ground on the Cubs even. Who knows? Maybe the Padres will be the number one wild card. Wouldn't that be nice? Reds are not out of it. Reds are 3 games back. Giants, I think, are out of it, depending on how they do against the Padres in those 2 series. They're trying to win a rubber game today against the Pirates. Giants right now, 6 games back. Cardinals playing the Dodgers pretty tough. They got beat last night 12-6, but they beat them on Monday night. We'll see what happens in the rubber game today. Ohtani is starting that game for the Dodgers. I don't know if they're going to try to get him to 5 innings today or not, but Cardinals at 57 and 58. And I've always said, you're not in it until you get to the 500 mark. You get at the 500 mark, you still have a shot. And I wouldn't count out the Dodgers yet, or excuse me, the Giants yet. And the Reds, I don't think they have enough of pitching. I don't think they have the consistency. Giants have the pitching, but do they have the hitting to really get back in the race? So there you have it. Okay, well, let's take a look at our coach's mailbag from the other day. See what we got today, coach's mailbag. User 24582. Is it now possible for the Padres to win the division over the Dodgers? Yeah, I think it is. 3 weeks ago, absolutely not. I was hoping they could hang on for the third wild card. They've changed the whole complexion of their ball club. And so far, they haven't gotten anything out of Ryan O'Hearn, who I think they will. And I think they're going to get more out of Mason Miller. Mason Miller, gave up the 2-run homer. And again, give Lourdes Gurriel Jr. a lot of credit. But Mason Miller didn't look all that great in that first out. He gave up back-to-back hits, runners in first and third, got a strikeout, and then the Padres turned an incredible double play. His ERA is like 4.01. It wasn't like he was like tearing it up with the A's this year. His ERA now after last night, giving up those 2 earned runs, is 4.01. But he'll get better. He'll get better. But I thank you very much. But yeah, I think the Padres have a shot. We're going to have a lot better idea by about the 24th of August, whether or not they have a legitimate shot or not. We'll see what happens. And they got a tough weekend coming up. This game tonight's going to be tough. But you know what? With an off day, Mike Schilt will burn that bullpen. I think Suarez is probably down tonight. I don't know if Miller's down or not. But he got a lot of bullets in that bullpen tonight. You can get a little more out of Estrada tonight, probably. Jason Adam, they got to slow him down. He's pitched a lot. I'm a little worried about him, even though he's still throwing very well. His ERA's under 2. But tonight, who knows? It may end up being a bullpen game. We have no idea what to expect from Nestor Cortez. If he goes 5, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked if he can go 5. If he goes 5, man, the Padres are sitting pretty tonight against the Rattlesnakes. No question about it. And again, Padres off tomorrow, Boston, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thank you, user. I appreciate that. What else we got today on Coach's Mailbag? One's fandom. Have the new additions performed up to your expectations so far? Yeah, but Ryan O'Hearn really hadn't had a whole lot of opportunities. Freddie Fermin's done a good job behind the plate. Laureano's been unbelievable. We just talked about Mason Miller. J.P. Sears, a disappointment. Will Wagner's playing in AAA. Friday, I'll take a look at his numbers in the short time he's been with El Paso. We'll see. Hopefully O'Hearn gets in the ball game tonight. You got to get him a start. You can't let him sit around and get rusty. And same thing with Gavin Sheets. So we'll take a look at that on Friday as well. What else we got? We got one more out there. Okay, Jake, feeling more confident about a deep playoff run now with the additions to the roster? Yes, but I got to tell you, the National League's tough. National League is tough. I mean, I don't know who can win. I don't know if the Dodgers are the best team right now. I think Phillies are awful good. I mean, I think the Philly with Ranger Suarez, Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, those guys are nails. And they upgraded the bullpen with Duran when they got him from Minnesota. I mean, that guy throws over 100 miles an hour as well. He's got a great changeup. So, I mean, and you got Milwaukee. Milwaukee's got a really good team. They don't have a lot of household names, but they've got a really good team, I think. And the Cubs, I know they're going through a little bit of a downturn right now, but they're tough. And we know about the Dodgers. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a playoff in the National League. The American League, maybe Houston, but I think probably Detroit. I'd have to favor Detroit right now. But you just never know. If Bruce Bochy gets the Texas Rangers in the playoffs, I wouldn't rule them out. I wonder if this is going to be Bochy's last year. I have a feeling it's going to be Bochy's last year. I really do. I thought he'd come back for 3 years. He's already won one world title with Texas, and they'll try to make another deep playoff run. But I have a feeling this could be Boch's last year. We'll have to wait and see on that. Okay. I think that's going to wrap it up today, folks. What a fun show. A lot of good questions today, as always. Now, Friday, we'll be back in, get you ready for Boston. We'll wrap up this Arizona series. I'm sure there'll be some other little tidbits that we'll get talking about. But again, please send in your questions. I love reading them. I'm constantly scurrying through YouTube, Facebook, and X to see if you're writing stuff. Hopefully, you enjoy the show. We try to give you the best and most honest content out there. There are a few talk show hosts in town that are honest. There's some others that, probably are wearing those sunglasses with brown and gold. I try to be honest. I want my team to win, but I got to be honest with you fans. And please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, doesn't cost anything. Please subscribe, please like, and please send your comments. And thanks again to Jonathan Oliveri. Got the big card show coming up at Liberty Station on Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk more about that on Friday. And on Friday, we'll get you ready for a big weekend against Alex Cora and his Boston Red Sox. Until then, Coach John Kentera, have a great day, everyone. And thanks for tuning into the John Kentera Show, San Diego Sports Talk.